Within our world are creatures we cannot hope to comprehend. Science refuses to recognize them as fact. But Hollywood sees this as an easy cash grab. Now, join these three men as they venture into these attempts at success. You will witness the good, the bad, and the strange as you are now venturing into Cryptic Collectors.
Welcome to Cryptic Collectors, the only show on the internet that has to re-record this particular episode, losing so many good jokes.
Yeah.
So many great jokes that you guys have groaned at.
Yeah.
You know how that makes me feel? Anyway, I am William. I threw a rock at him, Kearney.
And I am Ace. I screwed up the recording, Marrok.
And I am Sippy. Holy shit! Actually, a good movie. Yay!
Yeah, so
that's his actual birth name.
Yeah, so bit of a story with that. So we actually recorded this about a couple weeks ago, but unfortunately, my audio was pretty much unusable due to a new thing I was trying out with OBS, and yeah, my audio.
So many good jokes lost because of you.
I know. I
can't just repeat them. I can't repeat the groans you guys gave me from them.
I know. Believe me, I was really disappointed about how that turned out, because that was one of the funniest episodes we had so far. But hopefully we could at least meet some kind of expectation with this one. With that said, our movie today is going to be the 1980 horror film directed by Louis Teague of Cujo fame, Alligator, based around the legendary sewer gator myth.
It's the one myth that technically isn't a myth. It's just in the wrong location.
Yeah, so here's the strangest thing about sewer gators. Now, the old story about them is that there were reports during the 1930s where gators would be flushed down the sewers, and then they would grow into these larger monstrosities that would terrorize people in the sewers of Manhattan. Except here's the thing.
Like crocodiles, there could have been a piranha.
Yeah, but here's the strangest part. Now, this is really just more so an urban legend when it comes to Manhattan, but in other areas such as Louisiana or in Florida, it's more like a truth that happens here and there, because there have been legit footage and photographs and news stories of alligators living in sewers to survive the heat.
The correct term is poo gators.
Yes.
No, but here's my thought on that. Here's my thought on that. It couldn't have gone through the toilet drain. It could have gone through like a loose sewer pipe that connected to the ocean. Maybe that's how it got in.
Yeah.
Maybe it was catching some sort of prey. It jumped up because they can jump out of their water, and they somehow landed hard on the steel pipe leading into the sewers, and then from there, it was a whole new hunting ground.
Yeah, well, I like to think of it that it might have also...
Or a particular crooked person went to New York, had a bag full of baby gators, and just dropped it in the nearest open manhole he saw.
I would believe that, because given Augustine, and especially for Belle's sake, I could see them pulling that shit.
But let's face it, it was me. Yeah, we need to realize that right now.
Yeah.
You could have used piranhas, and it would have been funny.
Piranhas would have been dead if I put them in a sack.
Not with that attitude.
Well, no. Here's what you could have done. You could have had it like just a huge water sack. You pour the whole thing with water, you put the piranhas in there, give them like some dead meat to scavenge off of, or some fruits, because piranhas actually technically are herbivores, and then you could have just then thrown them into the sewers.
First off, water sack sounds disgusting. Water sack sounds disgusting, so I'm not doing it.
Hey, hold on a second. Have you ever gotten a fish out of the fish store? Those are technically water sacks that they're in.
You know, when I hear water sack, I think of the sack that breaks, like the water breaks when it is time for the child to escape the chasm spasm. Chasm.
Yeah, it's basically the same as dropping a baby alligator down a sewer drain. Yeah,
Oh, God.
So are you essentially saying that the toilet is like a womb?
I'm not gonna say. I'm not going any further. I feel like I'll get in trouble.
No, and I
No,
have
no,
another
this is
question
great
here.
discussion material. I like to hear your
Well,
thoughts.
Yeah, no, and actually, here's my next question: Who would be the mama in that situation?
Me, because I'm the one that dropped the gator down there.
But you can't get pregnant.
He says about everything, especially at a Taco Bell bathroom.
Yo. Okay, listen. Horror movie idea. Like a very schlocky horror movie idea.
Okay.
So, a gator was flushed down the toilet at a Taco Bell.
Oh, Taco
It'd be dead.
Gators.
And then, from
Go on.
the bowels of their customers comes this unholy mutative agent from the food that they sell to us.
Basically, the poo monster from Dogma.
Poo gator. No, crocodunk. Crocodunk.
Okay, I can go with that.
Yeah, and the tagline would be "He'll hit the fan this summer."
I like it. I'll add that to my ideas of schlocky horror films along with Night of the Maple Leaves.
Now here's the thing, Spookies did the idea for shit monsters back in the day, so why not have a shit crocodile or alligator?
I am not opposed to this. I would gladly
If
give
you're
my
not
money
running
for
from the
this.
sight of it, you'll be running from the smell. That's a tagline for you guys.
Okay, thankfully we're recording this, so I'm glad I'll be saving this slogan for later.
I copyright that. Do not steal it from me. I will find you. I will hunt you down.
And I will kill you.
No, actually,
My B horror movie idea is called Attack of the Colossal Penis, and the tagline is "He's coming for you."
Unfortunately, my friend, someone already beat you to that idea.
I hate the sport so much.
Yeah, and it was twice. One of them was called Rawhead Rex, and the other one was a killer condom movie.
Here's the thing. You do not compete with the porn industry. You will lose with whatever idea you have because chances are they've already thought it and filmed it.
Except what made you think the example?
Yeah. Also, you need to call Rawhead.
Have you seen?
Yeah, you need to call Rawhead Rex by his local.
That they have out
You need to
there.
call Rawhead
Kind
Rex
of
by his
ideas.
localized name.
Oh god.
Yeah, you need to call Rawhead Rex by his localized name.
Oh, God.
Dickless Rage.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Okay, so, but yeah, sewer gators.
Yeah, weren't we talking about a movie?
Yes, we were. We were talking about sewer gator legends. And it's become a well-known celebrity in both Florida and New York. In fact, recently, as I found out, there was actually a sculpture made in commemoration of sewer gators in Times Square. And it was actually
So there's a statue of a
weird thing to
crocodile
put a statue of.
or a gator in Times Square? Like
Yep,
they would have a Hachiko statue in Japan?
kind of like that. Here's an image for everybody to look at.
Is it like a gator's head popping out of a toilet?
No, it's like the head, like it's like the whole body like circled around a sewer. It looks really well.
That looks like a film studio logo.
It
I'm not
kind of
gonna lie.
does. I'm not gonna lie. I might steal that for like my schlocky horror movies. This will be my logo.
And the first movie, Crocodunk.
Crocodunk, yes, it'll be our mascot. But
Crocodunk D.
Crocodunk. Okay, that's even better. But with
You're welcome.
Yes, but going back with sewer gators, this is one of those legends that thankfully has become so big that there have been plenty of adaptations of it. Leatherhead from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Killer Croc from DC Comics, Our Little Movie Today, and it's been cited numerous times in different books, novels, TV series. It's out of all like the urban legends, I would say this one's probably the most well-known and most well-adapted of any of the urban legends and cryptids that we've looked at so far.
You know what would have been funny? Actually, a very neat idea, kind of like a subversion of how Killer Croc's origin goes down. It's not somebody with a skin condition that looks scaly, but it was a crocodile that was flushed down the toilet, and all the waste from Ace Chemicals mutated it into a croc human hybrid. Thus, Killer Croc.
Well, that's basically what Leatherhead is in TMNT, to be fair.
Oh, that's true. Oh, shit. I totally forgot about Leatherhead.
Yeah, but
But I'm just saying that would have been a cool idea because I see Killer Croc evolving with each Batman installment. He's got a tail. He looks more beastly. That's a little bit borderline over the fence, or no, not over the fence. More like way past his more relatable skin condition, I guess.
well, in your defense, I would like to see like a more horror-esque Leatherhead, and I think a more mutated Killer Croc could be pretty interesting. I don't think, if I remember, I think there was one.
To be fair,
version-
anything's better than what Mutant Mayhem did with Leatherhead.
well, let's not talk about that. I don't want to talk about how they massacred my boy.
I have not seen Mutant Mayhem, so I have no part in this convo.
They gender swapped him and gave him tiny T-Rex hands.
What? That's just basically
Yes,
a fucking
that's-
T-Rex.
Yeah, let that speak for
Yes.
itself. I guess really the only design I could think of for Killer Croc that was more crocodilian of sorts was the Batman design. If you guys have ever seen what that one looks like.
Oh, the Batman.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that. I love that version.
That actually looks badass.
It does. I will admit it does kind of give me a little
And
bit
he's
of the
voiced by
West-
Ron Perlman.
Oh yeah, that is. That's
Even
Ron
better!
Perlman.
Even better.
And Ron Perlman makes anything better.
Especially with Clayface. Clayface is one of my favorite villains. But again, we're talking about crocodiles right now. So
Yeah. So
back to topic.
Yeah, back on topic. So yeah, but there have been plenty of adaptation. There have been plenty of versions out there of Sewer Gators, and today's movie is probably one of the more notable exceptions. As I mentioned earlier, it was directed by Lewis Teague, who is well known for directing many Stephen King's adaptations, such as Cujo and Cat's Eyes. But today's movie is kind of a little interesting because this movie was intentionally made as sort of to continue the animal attack craze of the late 70s and early 80s. And apparently in an interview that I saw with Lewis Teague during the making of Cujo, he mentioned that this movie was kind of meant to be more of a parody of Jaws. But if I'm going to be honest here, I don't really see it as one. I see it more as just a genuine Jaws-inspired movie that has a lot of its own unique ideas and fun.
They did have some music that was really close to the Jaws theme, though.
Yeah.
But that was just one time. That was one time.
Yeah, really the only moments of this that really indicate Jaws is that and the POV shots. Otherwise, it's a completely different movie altogether. And also the fact that it's a killer animal, but this is a little bit different than what Jaws brought to the table. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Jaws was like naturally born or something. This gator was actually mutated.
Right. So, I guess to start going into the plot a bit more. So, there is a huge company that's basically
Hitler.
Yeah, basically Hitler, taking a lot of pets and injecting them with different chemicals to. Like,
that scene made me so uncomfortable. to watch that.
Discuss like that. They basically do a lot of illegal experimentations on animals for diseases and such. And unfortunately, it incorporates kidnapping pets. And yeah, like there's one scene in the movie that even I have to admit it's a bit unsettling.
Don't worry, the scientists get killed.
Yeah, and they basically dump all those carcasses down into the sewers where a baby alligator, which is named Ramon, which was brought home by a family, fortunately is flushed down the toilet by father of the family, and he basically survived there with all of those discarded animals that were mutated, and now he's going around terrorizing the city, including killing a poor cop whose was the partner of a down in his luck cop called David Madison, played by the fantastic Robert Forster. And now he's trying to go out there and prove the existence of this gator and bring it down once and for all with the help of a doctor known as Marisa Kendall, who was played by Robin Riker.
And who was also the original owner of Ramon before her dad flushed down the toilet.
Yes, she was the little girl in the beginning that grew up to become a biologist and know a lot about alligators, especially.
Yeah, I will say,
I'm sorry.
go ahead. I will say I'm glad we're doing a 80s monster movie because people in the 80s acted like cartoon characters. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'll admit, a lot of the characters in this movie are very over the top and very ridiculous.
Except for like the two leads.
Yeah, I would say the two leads are they're also, though, very likable. They're very likable characters and very well rounded. But yeah, every other character is very, at least memorably over the top and fun to watch. I especially love Michael Gazzo as Chief Clark. It's just the way he sounds. Like, he's more straightforward. He's at least more straightforward of all the other over the top characters, but he still knows when the hammer.
He's basically J. Jonah Jameson if he was a cop.
Yeah. Ironic too, because he actually was nominated for an Academy Award for playing Frank Pantagili in Godfather Part 2.
Oh, now that is sad.
I mean, at least in this movie, you could definitely tell he's having a lot of fun with the movie, in his defense.
Right.
I also really love the camaraderie between both Madison and Kendall, because with Madison, I love the idea that he had a problem with getting his former partner shot. He tries to take on a younger cop to assist him with finding out what's been killing so many people and so many animals. They find the gator, and now he goes through that same loss again of losing a partner to a force that he could not overcome.
Yeah, giant sewer gator. You can't beat that.
Yeah, of course. Your first one gets gunned down by guns, and then the other one is a giant gator. Although, now that I think about it, I like to think it was Ramon who killed his first partner. Like, he's just the gator. He's the gator holding a shotgun. But yeah, I definitely like a lot of the main leads. And another one I really liked is also Kendall. I like that she is the girl from the beginning of the movie that adopted Ramon and didn't know that the monster going out there was once her former pet. And it's like a nice little bit of tragedy to Ramon as a character himself, because he was just an innocent pet gator that was turned into something that he did not want to become. Kind of like,
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Ramon was sad up until the very end.
well,
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but you know what I mean, though. Like, when you learn about that, though, it definitely gives, like, a tiny bit of sympathy for the monster itself. Like,
Yeah,
it's
then
kinda
also, if you think about it, it's not worse than what the gator's actual parents do to them.
well, to be fair, at least with gators, they do protect their young until they reach a certain age. After that, that's basically all reptiles for themselves.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it kind of reminds me of the original Godzilla. Actually, it was a creature that, while obviously destructive and monstrous, on the other hand, there is a small bit of tragedy knowing that this thing was bastardized by man and turned into something that it never wanted to be.
Just for the record, we're talking about the Japanese Godzilla, not the
Yes.
American Abomination.
Which American Abomination? There's a few of this. We have kind of a few of them. At this
You
point.
know the one. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
The Jay
That's a
Leno
lot
one?
of fish. And
That's
this
it.
was definitely smelling of Lovecraft semen.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't exactly like that either, but to be fair, I don't think it's that much better than, say, the recent Legendary movies.
I don't know. I mean, one thing I do love is their interpretation of Shin Godzilla. Like, holy fuck. I saw this movie in Japan
Oh, really?
when I was in
Really?
Japan. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, don't get Ace started on Shin Godzilla.
Yeah, you don't want to start
Yeah,
talking with me
Godzilla
about
minus
that.
one. Godzilla minus one. You have his attention, but Shin Godzilla, do not get him started on that.
Godzilla meets Evangelion. That's all I have to say.
And all I have to say is Conference Table's the movie with a giant Muppet.
That is true.
Yeah,
He's not wrong on that one.
yeah, I'm not wrong.
Another
Anyways.
character I did love in this movie, by the way, was the alligator expert that was talking about their mating rituals.
Oh my god.
The
A
well-known
big game hunter.
the alligator hunter. It was actually, I think he was like that. Yeah, that guy. I think he was like some kind of alligator handler or something. And
Yeah,
the moment that got me was like the weird humming noises he was making.
Yeah, well, I was watching it, I was like, look, I grew up on Animal Planet. I don't think this guy's ever seen a show on Animal Planet talk about gators.
You know what? He is pretty much that movie's equivalent to Christopher Walken in Mouse Hunt.
Oh my god. I keep forgetting he was in Mouse Hunt.
He's gonna be Christopher Walken all over that mouse.
Although in his,
Swedish, I won't eat it.
I won't eat it. Although in his defense, I mean, it wouldn't be like the first time that we've gotten like weird casting choices and weird production choices in this, in certain movies, including this one. Because I'm not sure if I mentioned this last time, but there are some interesting people that were working on this movie. One of them, strangely enough, was Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston has such a weird history before he became like this A-list actor.
Yeah, so for those of you who are unaware what I'm talking about, so Bryan Cranston, during his time when he was trying to get into acting during the 80s and 90s, he would do a lot of production assistant roles, and one of them would be to, in this movie's case, basically bring out the gore for certain scenes.
He was also the voice of one of the Power Ranger monsters.
Yes, he also did a lot of voice acting work during the mid-90s, while around the time he was still working on his acting role. And another one that I still can't believe to this day is that Jason Voorhees himself, Kane Hodder, was the Gator in some shots.
Oh my, yeah, I remember you telling me.
Yeah, so the alligator in this movie, there are a lot of different visual effects they use. They use a giant animatronic puppet. There is them using a real alligator in miniature sets. But there is like a couple of shots where it's a man in a suit. There's a scene where a car crashes and the gator kind of looks at the guy as the car is crashing, and the way it looks, that's clearly a suit. And I have no doubt that was Kane Hodder in that spot.
Yeah, so why does Kane Hodder take roles that involve him swimming in gross water?
Well, I mean, he is the only guy that's probably willing to do anything at that point. Just ask him in part 7 where he was thrown around like a rag doll.
Or in Wishmaster when he was fused with a glass door.
Seriously, that man should get a lot more notoriety than he actually does.
Yeah. I think the guy who played the Wishmaster needs a lot more notoriety. I mean, have you seen the man?
Yes, I have. I have seen
his voice, his visage, I
won't deny that. He is a great actor.
But if it's any consolation, sweet Alex, that hurt like hell. I fucking love that line.
Yeah. Andrew Divoff is his name. And you might also love this, but he was also one of the things I find interesting is that he actually had a recurring role in Lost.
Wait,
They
what?
couldn't find him.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a reoccurring role in Lost throughout season 3 and season 6. But yeah, to go back to the Gator, though, visually, again, it's very nicely cheesy 80s practical effects, and
Yeah, I honestly, it always warms my heart seeing practical effects, and these are pretty decent ones too, especially when the miniatures and they had the actual gator roaming around.
yeah, I mean, those ones are definitely noticeable, but they're noticeable in that, in that fun sort of way where
Yeah,
you just kind of smile just watching it in action.
yeah.
Yeah, and also I gotta say, it's whenever we do see the gator, and and like any other monster movie, they do hide it, a good amount of times to build up suspense and such. But
Yeah,
when they do
I-
show it, you don't get disappointed. You get what you paid for.
Yeah. Also, this does take place in New York, right?
So in this movie's case, no, this actually takes place in Chicago.
All right. I was gonna ask, what's with people in New York not being able to find these monsters? Like in Q the Winged Serpent, no one looks up in New York, and apparently, according to this movie, no one can see a giant gator just wandering around.
Okay, in my defense, as New Yorkers, we always look down.
Nah, fair enough.
Yeah. Chicago, they just constantly look up, and that's why they get eaten by gators.
Yeah, I can attest to this.
I mean,
if
take your word for it.
I mean, if their heads are not in the clouds, then their head is definitely up somebody's ass.
That was amazing.
Yes. But to go back with the gators, I also like that there's a lot of like really great kills in this one. I think like my two favorites, one of them I was not expecting at all, was when the gator was hiding in someone's pool and a kid flat out gets
Oh
eaten.
my god.
Yeah, every time a kid gets killed in a horror movie, it blows my mind. It's like, I can't believe they went that route.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's actually, I think, one of the best jump scares in that movie because it's just a bunch of kids like playing an innocent game of walk the plank. They turn the parent turns the light on for the pool, and the gator is right there just waiting for something to come in. It's a great jump scare, and the fact of the matter is that they would kill the kid too. And we're not talking like they kind of imply it. No, you see his blood coming out of the pool, and his siblings are watching it.
It's always a gutsy move to kill a kid in a horror film, and honestly, I think they did this beautifully. I mean,
I think we need to see
as
more
wrong
of
as
it.
that sounds, it was done actually methodically and actually cinematically captivating, to say like as less grossly as possible. I don't think that's possible. But anyways, if you're gonna kill a kid in a horror movie, that's how it should be. It should be shocking, and
Yeah,
that's what it did.
You were trying to make that sound way too poetic, considering what the topic is.
Bottom line, in films, we support child murder.
Not dog murder, though.
Hey, at least it's better than dog murder.
Agreed.
That is
Agreed.
true.
By the way, did Hirohiko Araki like make the script in some parts? Like the poor dog and the voice box.
I have a theory that Araki saw this movie in theaters, and it became like his second coming. Like this is his moment when he had an epiphany where he's like, "This is how I make my villains evil."
Yeah. Also, whenever I saw the lead with his puppy he adopted, I keep on going, "Oh man, I hope nothing happens to it." You don't introduce a dog and not have something happen to it in a horror movie.
Yeah.
But luckily, the pup's fine. Actually, the pup played a very minor role in the movie.
Yeah, strangely enough. But given the context of how the gator becomes giant, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other though best part of the movie for me was definitely the wedding crashing scene.
Oh my god, that was
hilarious.
Free for all.
Yeah,
that was a fucking buffet.
Yeah,
you know what? It actually reminded me of Black Sheep.
Yes.
Yeah. So was this what the red wedding thing I heard so much about?
Yes. These are what red weddings lead to. It's a giant gator that will come out and murder everyone in there.
That sounds about right. That's fucking good. Those things.
Fucking attendees. It's a free for all.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, there was that one guy that like was holding onto his lip in the scenario when he got away from the alligator. What did it do to him?
Yeah, that's a good question. I kept
Honestly,
asking.
I think they just wanted to make effective ways how to make a victim more, I guess, gory. I guess.
Well, but that makes me wonder. So, like, did he just like lightly nymph at the guy's face? I guess, and that caused.
And the
Give
way
him
the
a
guy
little
was,
kiss. He gave him a little kiss.
Yeah, and the way the guy was acting, he acted like he lost a limb. You know for a fact he's gonna walk past someone who lost a leg, going, "I know your pain, man."
To be fair, like to go back to Black Sheep, it's like that scene where one of the business guys got his lips bitten off with the hand puppet. So maybe it's not too far off. Although I gotta say too, another part that I really love about that is when he goes after like the head like of the corporation, the guy like basically throws out his assistants, like the main scientist, and he gets eaten up, and then the gator fucking wags the limo to death and crushes him in the most poetically satisfying way possible.
I mean, you wouldn't expect a gator to do that, but by God, was that awesome.
Yeah. This also makes me now want to see this in more wedding movies. Instead of a guy saying, "I object," like in a romance comedy, instead he just comes in, says, "I object," and he's riding a giant alligator.
Yeah, I felt like Ryan Reynolds would have done that in The Proposal, but he didn't.
Oh my god.
They kind of did the same thing in a movie that recently came out on Netflix called Damsel.
Wait, there's a giant gator in a wedding movie?
No, but there was a giant dragon.
Okay, that works too.
They just pretty much lit the red wedding on fire.
Okay, that sounds awesome. But I will say this though, I need to see this, and I don't know, probably Ryan Reynolds would never listen to this podcast, and if you are listening to this, Ryan, please stop watching. But I will ask this, for Deadpool 4, you need to have a wedding ceremony between Wade and his stripper girlfriend, and it ends with just married with her and Wade riding a giant alligator.
I'm
Or like
upset
in the
that's not
games,
canon.
just have like a fucking winged unicorn or something.
Yeah. Oh wait, even better, it's the Loki gator.
Oh my god!
You act like Marvel's not gonna take the chance to use that and make merchandise.
Exactly.
Honestly,
So have
any kind of
Deadpool ride him.
any kind of humor out of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, it always hits the mark. So I have faith in him alone. I mean,
Oh my!
I
Okay.
came out of that movie laughing my ass off.
Okay, guys, I have an idea for what we need to be the artwork to be. It needs to be Deadpool riding a giant Loki gator coming out of the sewers.
Well, we're just gonna really confuse people until they actually, watch the episode.
That's the point. That's the point, my friend. They gotta listen to this podcast, damn it.
So I just want to make sure I got this right. So will this podcast pretty much convince everybody that sewer gators might actually have a tendency to crash local weddings?
That is my
I hope
theory,
so.
yes.
I mean, add that to the mythos. I mean, just sewer gator just comes out. He's feeling a little bit hungry. So he goes to the nearest wedding venue. Oh, there's the bride and groom. They're about to take their vows. Is there anyone in this crowd of idiots that sees that there's no reason for these two to get wed? Please say your reason or just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then the gator just comes up, eats the fucking priest.
Yes. and he just goes, he just like looks at everybody and is like, is this the buffet?
Yeah. Then the gator just walks off with the groom, not realizing he's carrying him off, as in the groom chose the gator over his wife.
Okay, now you're kind of reminding me of the Trauma Monster in the Closet movie where he carries the guy out.
Oh god.
That's another ridiculous movie in its own right. Oh, strangely, it's a PG movie for a trauma film.
Honestly, I would love to see a trauma movie with a sewer gator that eats weddings people.
Lloyd Kaufman, do your duty.
Do your contribution to this lovely, appalling society.
We need to see. You know what? Actually, I got an idea. What if it's actually for DC Comics? It's Killer Croc constantly invading weddings. God damn it! But getting back with the movie though.
Now we're on to the most stressful part of the movie: the final fight with the gator.
Yeah, in the best
The
ways
fucking
possible.
manhole. Holy shit!
Yeah.
That bitch in the car.
Yeah.
Even I got stressed out watching this. I know he was gonna make it alive, but the
I was
way
like,
they
"Get the
did
fuck
it, was
out!" I never felt so fucking invested in a campy horror movie in my life. So yeah, that's a big plus from me.
Yeah, the finale, by the way, is very tense, very suspenseful, and it definitely passes with flying colors for a finale. Like as you guys mentioned, the woman, trapping David like in the sewers, and he's trying desperately to get out as the timer's going off. It's great stuff.
and we get more cartoon people from the 80s.
Always. And then only to lead with him finally escaping, and then the gator blows up in satisfying fashion. Although, I must say, though, it is kind of funny how every single time in 80s films, whenever they put explosives in the sewers, the fire has to burst out of the sewer drain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now here's my thing. Did they mention them cleaning up the remains of the gator?
No, actually.
So they just left them down there for rats to eat, and then also eventually grow.
Well, that also brings us a bit of the ending, because at the end of the movie, Dreampipe spits out another baby alligator.
Because Chicago didn't learn its lesson the first time.
Yeah, and the cycle repeats.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Teach you this lesson, old man. Lovely young people. Yeah, but I love the idea though that it ends like that. Showing that the cycle is going to repeat all over again.
Which resulted in another movie, the sequel.
Which we don't talk about because it is a horrible, horrible piece of shit.
You know what?
Even
I
compared
thank
to
you
Carved?
guys. I absolutely thank you for not subjecting me to that compared to this, because I felt
Yes.
Yeah.
I felt this was a reprieve. This was something that I appreciate, because you have pretty much subjected me to every single flap after flap. I fucking fell
It was-
asleep during the Flatwoods Monster movie.
Well, great, Sippy. Now we have to watch the sequel.
No!
No,
You could've
okay.
just kept
Even
it
I'm
quiet.
gonna. Oh, hold on, no. I'm gonna be on Sippy side on this one. Even I'm putting my foot down and I'm saying no. We are not watching the sequel to that movie. We are waiting. At most, we are waiting like dozens of seasons before I ever subject myself to that film again.
I mean, well, at our rate of releasing episodes, that'll be forever.
Hey, I'd rather watch The Poultrygeist about 5 times before I watch anything that is related to Alligator 2.
Yeah, and also to be fair, you're going to be going through probably a lot worse movies than that over here, so you're going to.
We'll eventually get the Carved too. Don't you worry.
Please don't fucking dare. I will find you. I will fucking rain hellfire upon you, you motherfucker. Don't you fucking dare. I swear that joke has been carried over through the whole fucking season. Please don't. Don't you fucking do it.
Don't you fucking dare, you little puke.
I'm gonna find out where Sippy lives and just leave a copy of the DVD outside his door and then run
That's
off.
me.
I will know immediately. I will fucking find you.
To be fair, I would probably pull something like that, but instead of being Carved 2, it would just be Flatwoods or Carney.
Oh, great. Something to sleep through the rest of the night. I was looking for a lullaby.
Also, it was bold of you to assume someone was willing to put Carney on a DVD.
It is on DVD.
Seriously?
Yes.
What were they
yes, it
fucking
is.
thinking?
A question I keep asking myself. This, as you could tell, this is a really fun movie.
It brings out the best in us.
Yeah, and, you know, as I've said already, it's a movie that, while I personally don't think, I really don't think it really deserves to be known as a Jaws knockoff. I think of it as just another fun addition to the crazy animal attack genre. One of the better ones, in my opinion. It's got,
I guess you could say this film's a crock.
moving on. So,
Hey, so I'm
No,
go
you're
find
gonna
them.
acknowledge
I'm
that.
I'm getting my fucking GPS. Well, you stay right there. You stay right the fuck there.
yeah.
He's gonna look on Google Images, see me holding up a copy of Carved 2
Yes.
right at the camera.
Yes. But,
Thanks for setting up the target for my airstrike.
Yeah. And it's not like, too, that this movie also doesn't have a bit of, it's not like, too, that the film doesn't have any form of inspiration or legacy behind it, because here's another strange thing. So, the one filmmaker who definitely enjoyed this movie was the legendary Quentin Tarantino.
Which is weird, there's no feet in this film.
Well, unless you want to count Gator feet.
Yeah, so unless you want to count the gator feet, which
Yeah.
I think that just means he has a deeper fetish than we thought.
Yeah. And, well, the main reason I say that is because because Robert Forster's character in this movie was the one that inspired Max Cherry for the 1997 film Jackie Brown. Ironically, also played by Robert Forster. So,
Actually, that's really interesting.
yeah, but yeah, well, it's not really that interesting, to be honest, because Quentin Tarantino's a big B movie lover, so I'm not surprised that he would pull casting stuff like this.
Yeah, wasn't Tarantino also a fan of War of the Gargantuas?
Yes, he was.
Perfect.
It's just a fun movie. It's definitely one of the best adaptations that we've probably discussed on this podcast. And unfortunately, we're not going to get any more of them like this, given our next couple of ones. So let's just
Honestly, it's our fault for picking cryptid, urban legend related movies when we know for a fact no one's is willing to put that much money into these things.
Unfortunately, not. But but got great special effects, fun cast of characters, 2 strong leads, and well,
A wedding scene, which is always good to see.
yeah, and also wedding scene. So, fellas, how would you rate this movie?
I rated 5 Quentin Tarantino feats out of 5. Sorry, I couldn't think of any better one.
I would rate this about 10 toilet pregnancies out of 5.
Oh, that was better. I wish I thought of that.
All right, and I'm gonna give it 4 wedding crashes out of 5. For our next movie that we're going to be talking about, we are going from the sewers of, in this case, Chicago, all the way down to Mexico on a cruise ship with a well-known goat sucker.
That sounds dirtier than it should have been. I'm just saying.
It is dirtier than it should have been, but given the cryptid we're going to be talking about, it's honestly not that surprising.
The
Fair
classic
enough.
term for that would be the sanguine sucker.
See, that sounds less gross. See, that sounds less gross.
I
mean, it adds a little bit of character, a little bit of suave to this filthy, degenerate animal.
Yeah, although when you describe it like that, then how would that so what way would you describe then? Would it be a sanguine sucker? Because that just sounds like the more highbrow version of it.
I'm just thinking like a anthropomorphic version that's just holding a wine glass of goat's blood.
He's got a suit and everything.
He talks like Sean Connery.
Yes,
absolutely.
The name is Cabra, Chupacabra.
or at least a combo between Sean Connery and Christopher Lee.
Ooh.
At least Christopher Lee.
Oh, you know what? Got an even better one. He's like the fish that was hosting the party during the Entrepreneur episode of SpongeBob. Sorry, but the whole restaurant has been turned into a private party. Oh, it's my one time to be fancy. Oh, who could have rented out the whole restaurant? Oh, it was a bunch of goat suckers and their dates.
You just reminded me of that one old fish from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
What did he say? You're selling chocolate.
You just can't wait for me to die, can't you?
I assume that's your guys' spirit animal.
No, that's not my spirit animal. That's my mother's.
Oh. I have been William. I forgot the joke I made earlier, Kerning.
I am Ace Marrok.
And I am Sippy. Please spare me from the next movie if it's a bad one. I had a reprieve, okay? It was good.
It's not.
No.
Why the fuck would you do this to me?
No.
I thought you loved me.
We do love you. We do love you, Sippy. And this has been Cryptic